Hey everyone, welcome to this new DAX series for beginners. In this playlist, we will go step by step from raw data all the way to meaningful insights using Power BI. So if you are new to Power BI or DAX, don't worry. By the end of this series, you will understand how DAX actually thinks and how to write formulas that answer real business questions. So let's start with the basics. Why DAX even matter? So here's the thing. When you import data into Power BI, it's just rows and columns. DAX is what turns that raw data into answers. For example, if your boss asks what were our total sales this quarter or which customer segment grew the fastest, that's not something raw tables can tell you directly. You need DAX for that. In short, DAX is a language that helps you build logic and calculations behind your visuals. Without it, Power BI is just a fancy data viewer. So, what is DAX? DAX stands for Data Analysis Expressions. It's the formula language used inside Power BI and some other tools like Excel, Power Pivot, and SQL Server Analysis Services. You can think of it like the Excel formulas, but smarter one, because DAX works with entire tables and relationships, not just individual cells. Okay, so with DAX, you can calculate multiple, aggregated functions, or you can draw multiple sites. Like for the calculation purposes, you can calculate totals, averages, ratios, year-over-year growth, customer retention, basically anything that drives business insights. It's also how you make your dashboards dynamic. So when you click on a visual or apply a filter, your measures automatically update, right? So now this is one of the first thing beginners need to get clear about measures versus calculated columns. So measures are lightweight and calculated on the fly. For example, we have, let's say, total sales is equal to sum of sales table and then amount. And then we have calculated columns. On the other hand, they are stored in your data model and consumes memory, like the profit fund that I have added here. We will definitely talk about a bit later. So you will use measures mostly of the time mm, because they are smarter and more efficient. But columns are still useful when you need data pre-computed row by row. So let me give you a idea about DAX syntax basics. So let's look at the basic structure of a DAX formula. It always starts with the name of your measure, followed by an equal sign, then a function that references a table, and then we have column. Okay. So for example, we have total sales where we are providing the name of the function, and then we have the name of a table, which is sales here, and then we have the name of a column, sales amount. So we are using sum to calculate the total sales. And in the same way, if we look at this formula over here, we are using distinct count. This is the table and this is the column name. So that's the basic syntax of DAX, nothing complicated. So let me just show you a little demo of some of the DAX functions. Okay, so let me open Power BI and firstly give you an idea about data that I'm using. So I have this sales data available. And here, if you notice, I have quantity and unit price. So let's say if my goal is to calculate the total sales this business generated over a period of time, so how can I do that? For this, do I need to just, do a sum of any column? Well, I can't do that right now. I think, firstly have to create a column named total sale, let's say, and in that column, I will have to do a multiplication of quantity and unit price, right? So let me do that in Power BI. I will just click new column and it will create a new window where I will have to write a code for that, basically DAX code. So just to clarify here, I'm using the calculated columns because my goal is to create a column inside data model, which I can then use later. So I will say this something like sales, and here I would use firstly the table name, and then inside the table, I would use the column name. So firstly, I want to multiply unit price by quantity. So I will write again the table name and then the quantity column. So let me hit enter and this will create a new calculated column inside our data model. I can definitely change its data type since it's in dollars. So I can, change its type to currency. And so now I have this calculated columns ready. What I can do now is I can click on this table. So it makes sure that my any new calculated column or any new measure created in this table. So I would now click new measure. That would be a different one. As I said, it's just calculate all the things on the fly. So I just hit enter. Let's wait, it's working. Okay, so now DAX window is open and I want to calculate the total sales. So for this, I would first use the name of, firstly, I would use the function. I would do the sum and then I will type the table name, and inside table, I would refer to the column that I just created. I've actually created sales column here. So I would refer that and I will just collapse the bracket. So now my measure is created, and as you can see the symbols, this one is calculated columns and there is a different symbol of calculated column, and this one is our calculated measure. So it's have this calculator symbol here. So this is how I will get the total sales, and I can even change its data type to currency because that makes more sense now to have dollar sign. And I can use this calculated measure in my any other different fields I want. So for example, I want to, let's say, have a total sales by country, so I can definitely do that very quickly. Let me first add the country here. Okay, so country is added and then I can add the total sales. So this is how it's giving me total sales, and I can round it off to two values or zero based on my need. So yeah, that's how we calculate total, calculated columns and calculated measures. So yeah, that's it. So that's a quick intro to DAX, what it is, why it's matter, and how to create your first measure and first calculated column. So if you find this helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and follow along the playlist because we are just getting started with DAX. Thank you. Bye bye.